share screen. No. Okay. Can you see the screen, Soumya? Shweta? Shweta and Sanjana?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Yes, ma'am.
I have not shared anything. I think I downloaded that day, na? Second one. Share. Do you remember? What are we going to start today? Acha, cost only we have to continue, right?
Long and average cost curve.
Yeah. Chapter 3, unit 1. Yeah. Unit 1, it's unit 2, right? Cost. Where is it? How was the test yesterday? Your accounts test. Here is chapter 3, unit 2, anyway. Maybe we'll download it. I can't see downloads. Can you see?
No. Below desktop.
Below desktop. Okay, where is it? Here, I have to search. Do you remember, Vignesh, where did I, with what name did I ever,
You can download the import thing.
I didn't download, that day was, I downloaded it. Oh, chalo, no problem.
You can go and search in the start.
Documents left.
No.
Where?
Here. This one, you go and search for this thing.
Oh, that to
This one.
institute, no?
This one,
Uh-huh.
since you have already downloaded it to be there,
I
but
feel it's downloaded, I don't know.
yeah, that day it was down.
I downloaded
You
it.
search here.
Where?
Here, ma'am, you
What-
just
what
use the
name?
keyboard.
I don't know. Maybe I must have written. Chapter 3. Yes. Thank you. So where did I go? From here, right?
Yes, start one.
Here. Okay. Yeah, means I downloaded it. Yeah. So did you all at least get go through whatever we studied last class?
Yes.
Any doubt? Did you ever do this? This table, did you check? And this question is for everyone. I need an answer from everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Checked.
Check, is it correct? Sanjana, and switch on your videos, come on. Soumya, switch on your video. Yes, Sanjana, good. Soumya, can you hear me? I need to assure that you are here always.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'm there only, ma'am. Soumya, did you do this table? I mean, did you verify these calculations?
Yes, ma'am.
Shreya,
Yes.
are they correct? Okay, very good. Why Shreya no?
Ma'am, because I was stuck with this manual economics and basic.
Where is it?
In economics and this economics of scale,
Oh, okay.
I couldn't go really to this.
Okay, we will take that again, don't worry. But before that, I will take this, okay? Long run average cost. So you remember till whatever we did in the last class was short run. And that is the reason I told that 2 I don't take on the single day, okay? It means one day, one thing. So now long run is very not so really long. You can say it's hardly 2 pages and not everything is important also. Like half of the thing is just explanation, you can say, okay? So long run is like, you know, we talk about like, you already know long run, the meaning is that, you know, it's not related to time. We have already done long run, short run. And in short run, what happens? At least one factor you need to keep constant. But to understand it, what we are doing, we are taking all except one constant. Okay, means we take only one variable. When we say at least means more than one is also allowed. So when we say at least one variable means at least one constant means one should be constant and more than one also should be constant. So when we were doing LVP means law of variable proportions. What we were doing, we were keeping other all constant and one variable, because I told you won't understand that when the output is increasing, TP is first increasing at an increasing rate and then diminishing rate. You won't be able to make out that why this is happening, means due to which factor it's happening. Is it due to labor or is it due to something else? So it's better, you know, when we study a theorem, we basically take one variable so that we can say that, okay, this is happening due to this only, like that. That is the reason. So long run, it's a period of time during which we can vary all. And then again, they have talked about, long run, short run, long run, short run. I told you many places they will be speaking about this because everywhere they will first give an intro and then only they will continue. So similarly, like in short run, you can be tied to a given plan, but in a long run, especially this happens when you want to expand. Like I told you, like for example, more enrollments come. We need to expand. You cannot either we need to say a no or we will have to take a different place. So that will be a long run decision. Maybe that decision is just taken in a day or in one meeting itself, in an hour, right? So it has nothing to do with time and all. So this is. So now in long run, we have to decide as a management has to decide like which plant and machinery. There are various plant and machineries of different, you can say production capabilities are available, right? So you have to decide that for long run which, because this plant and machinery is a fixed investment, and you cannot keep on changing often. Like, okay, every year I will invest crores. Come on, that doesn't work out. Like when you buy a refrigerator, when you buy an air conditioner, when you buy a television set, or when you buy an AC, looking at the or washing machine. Okay, now you know that there are 4 members in the family. Okay, maybe sometimes guests will come. Guests don't come often. Okay, so suppose sometimes guest comes, you may use the machine 2 times. Okay, whatever. But that doesn't mean that only because some guests may come into my house, I will buy a very big washing machine and I will sit. Doesn't make any sense, right? Okay, if guests will come, we will manage. Maybe the same machine you can use 2 times, once in the morning, once after a break of an hour, whatever. Okay, but that doesn't mean that for small things, we take a very big decision. That unnecessarily, so anything that you buy, like AC you buy, whether it is 1.5 ton AC or 1 ton AC, so you know that what is the size of your room. And major apartments, like if you say, ma'am, now we move in we have to keep on moving because of rented apartments, fine, but one idea is there now. 2 BHK means, that maybe 1 ton will be very less for it. So we generally go for 1.5. Wherever I will go, it will be useful for me. If we have 4 members in the family, so accordingly only we purchase anything. May it be washing machine, may it be a mixer grinder also, like wet grinder. So we will not purchase for 10 people. What is the point? Suppose 10 people come as guests also, how many days they will stay? Guests don't stay for long time nowadays, right? And if it is needed, I will run it double, triple shift. What to do? But that doesn't mean that I will take a big machine and unnecessarily waste it. Like we saw, indivisibility of fixed factors of production. Indivisibility means like you buy a wet grinder of capacity 10 kg of rice and urad dal, but you don't even need 1 kg every day, or you need to just grind 2 kg every day, let us say. Okay, then that means you are wasting energy, you are wasting electricity, and even after that also the outcome will not be that good. Like in a big pot, if you are grinding this much, have you seen it doesn't grind well? So that is why in mixer grinder you will see a small pot is also doing. We call it as chutney jar. Have you seen that? For any small little, this much dal I have to put, or this much, so we generally prefer the small one. In the big one, if you grind also, it will not grind properly. Because every machine has some or other, suitability, you can say. And indivisibility. You cannot use that big grinder and you can cut it into 2 halves or divide into 2 and then you use it. It's not like that. So we call it as, that's in practical life also it happens. So similarly, when for a long run decision we need to take, like when sir would have decided how big room I need. Should be half of it, should be like, I think it must be like some, maybe it must be of 2, it seems, because you can see one partition is also there in between. So maybe they might have removed the partition sometime. Okay, so depending upon what is the need, we do that. Correct. So this basically is, now what comes in exam is, so what basically we are going to learn here is, we are actually looking for a long run decision, that I am into the production of this good, or I am into the production of provision of this service, like after becoming a CEO. Okay, so you know that minimum this much is needed, right? But for the long run, sometimes you will go for a little big office also. Like in future, let us say you need more space. So we just don't constrain ourselves into this small, little big way by. In future, hoping or assuming that my clients will increase, people will know me, they will come to me. So in starting only, we buy a little bit more space, so that for little thing you don't have to run here and there. Okay, so basically this, when talking about a manufacturer or producer, they make the decision, long run decision, using short run machines. So this we draw, you remember AC curve, that was more or less like a perfect U-shaped curve at the top, mad AC curve or ATC curve. So this small, they were short run, and now we are coming to long run. So the short run average cost curve, what we drew last time, they are also known as planned curves. Means each SSC represents one plant, and when I say plant, I mean plant and machinery. not that green plants. Okay. Okay, so see, so in the short run, so we generally have, various options available. Like, for example, any manufacturer wants to buy, like when we want to buy a washing machine, we want to buy a mixer grinder, we want to buy a refrigerator. We have different capacities. If you see, there'll be a small one, I don't know how many liters they say, then a bigger one, then a bigger one. So a person who has a big family, you go to a restaurant, how big they have that, even grinders and all. Means if you have ever visited, there's an ID in Chennai, right? ID. They have that batter also they sell. And also, but now it's not in Phoenix. But I remember when I visited Phoenix, when 4 or 5 years back, I remember that ID store was there. And they had that big, like mixer grinders type of thing, and big tawa. And if you see the idli stand also, big ones. Because in one go, see, we generally have the 12-15 wala, right? Because in a family, how much do they? But in there I saw, there were big that idli stands, fully mechanized. It used to come out automatically, and even idlis would come out automatically. So in one go, when they use, I think around 100 idlis they are able to produce. Similarly, dosas also. Then only I think they can cater to so many orders. But now that's no more in that Phoenix. It's closed up. Maybe due to COVID effect, I don't know. But recently, we were searching for that place. Very nice. I mean, the taste was also very good. I have not seen any other ID counter, not searched for beer in other places, but very good. What do we say? South Indian food was available there. So see, that is for restaurant purpose. They need to make 500, not even 500, I think thousands of idlis per day, right? So for them it's different. For us it's different. How much do we make? 40, 50 or what in a day? Not more than that, right? So depending upon the use. Now that big machine means that needs so much of space, that needs so much of electricity. It needs so much. Now in that, if you just make 20 idlis and that has a capacity of making 100 idlis, and you are using it to make 20 idlis, what is the point? You're wasting, right? So similarly, and price will also be high. The small idli maker will be very small, less price, and that big one, electricity it uses so highly priced. So that also we have to see one-time investment also, right? So same manner when a seller or a manufacturer, so I'm just zooming it because first we will look at this one. Okay, first there are two graphs here, but first we will look at the first one. So you can see here the first one, SSC1, SSC2, SSC3. Like let us say a firm has to decide, okay, between these three. Means every SSC, this is short run. And just now we saw short run means what? It's also known as plant curve. Means every SSC represents one plant and machinery. That's why we call it as plant curve. Okay, there are three machines, let us say, and you have to choose between them. So see, let us say SSC1 represents one plant and machinery. Okay, SSC2 represents plant and machinery number 2. Like let us say you have three choice: plant 1, machinery 1, machinery 2, machinery 3. Obviously, they will have different capabilities and capacities. Like how when you go to purchase AC, or when you go to purchase mixer grinder, or when you go to purchase like refrigerator, you will be given all the choice. See, small is also there, big is also there, very big is also there. So depending upon our family, our need, we choose. Right. Similarly, when a manager is given this choice, so SSC1 represents first plant and machinery, SSC2 the second one, SSC3 the third one. So what we will do? So see, we have to see depending upon, see, on the y-axis we have average cost. That's AC. So for any manufacturer will always try to produce at least cost. Correct? And in x-axis we have what? We have quantity of production. Means you can say quantity basically, right? So in x-axis we have quantity or output, you can say. So now let us say, suppose, suppose you have to produce OA. Look at this, OA, x-axis. Okay, OA means, let us say, I'll give some number, let us say 800 units. So now 800 units you have to produce, so just go up. How many options are available? I think one is SSC1 and another is SSC2. Two machines are that which you can use, because SSC3 is not even coming in that zone. Maybe SSC3 is so big a machine that is not applicable for your production. That is applicable for high production. Like I told you, in restaurant they will be using big idli stands. For a domestic use, it's of no use. Right? That's for too much of production. You can buy. See, nobody will restrict you from buying. Your money, you want to put, you put. Now, who tells no? But the problem is that we have to behave how? Rationally. not irrational. Correct. So now, Shreya, can you tell me if I have two options as a business manager, and suppose we ask you this advice that suggest SSC 1 I should go with or SSC 2 I should go with. So what will be your answer? SSC 2. Why?
Because like output is more.
No, I want to produce OA. This much output. That's all.
Then I would say that SSC 1 because of least cost.
Yes, we will go with SSC 1. Why? Because see, if you know that your output will be this much only and there is no chance of future increase in demand also. Because this is a max which you can expect. See, that we know from our past experience also. Even though McDonald's has been selling a lot of burgers on weekends or on holidays, but it knows that not more than this. Maximum what we have sold is, let us say, 800. Like here I took 800. Let us say this is 8,000. Maximum what they have sold on the weekends is 8,000 units. So sometimes if it is finished also, you can say a no to the consumer. Nothing like that. They will not come and kill you. That why there is no burger, give us nothing like that. Right? So maximum, we definitely don't want to lose opportunity, but definitely not at the cost of cost. Because if cost is going very high and benefit is less, we decide not to go with it. Right? So when you have 100% surety that your production at any point of time, even in the long run, will not go beyond this. And if it will go, we will see later. As of now, okay, what we will decide, I have two options here, right? I can even go with SSC 1 or I can choose SSC 2 because SSC 3 is out of my reach in the sense it's very big a machine for this slower production. Okay, so we may, so as Shreya said, yes, we will go with SSC 1. Why? Because it will give you least cost of production. SSC 2 will also give you the production, but this is actually meant for a little higher production. So it will give you production. That's not a problem. But the thing is that the cost will go higher for you. And as a manufacturer, you have to look for the least cost of production. Right? Similarly, but now at OB, when you come to OB, you see one thing that anyone you choose, whether SSC 1 or SSC 2, the cost is same, right? Because why? They both are intersecting there. You see that SSC 1 and SSC 2. So when you are in different term, so that again will depend upon, because one time investment you have to make, SSC 1 will be cheaper, SSC 2 will be costlier comparatively, because bigger a machine, higher will be the price. So now you have to see that in future, do you really expect? So here we use the demand forecasting technique. And we see that in future, like we assume or we expect the demand to be very high. So maybe you go with SSC 2. Because one thing you have to remember, present investment will be higher if you go with SSC 2. You cannot say, ma'am, I will buy anyone. No. Because SSC 1 may be much cheaper. SSC 2 will be costlier. So now in future, if you feel that no, again the demand will fall because there are lots of competitors and then this investment does not make any sense, this extra investment, then you can go with SSC 1 also. Because finally the cost of production will remain same. So like that for any level of output. So that is why, demand forecasting becomes important, because when you have to decide which plant I am going to install for the long run, correct? So you have to see various factors wherein the output is most important one, because depending upon output only you will decide which plant and machinery. Correct? So like similarly, if you want to go for OC. So now Sanjana, can you tell me if OC I want to produce, what options are available and what will you go with? Which one?
Ma'am, for producing OC,
Yeah.
SSC 2.
SSC 2. Now, so see, the same two options are available. SSC 1 and SSC 2. But why you are planning to go with SSC 2? Because SSC 1 is giving you higher cost now. So why will you go with that? Better go with SSC 2. In fact, here better thing is that even in future, if demand expands also, you can literally still produce at a lower cost, because the SSC 2 has not yet reached its lowest. Correct? So likewise, depending upon the various options available, we decide. Like suppose OD, then OD means again you will become indifferent. Anywhere before OD, I think SSC 2 will be better. Anywhere above OD means now we will shift to SSC 3, because SSC 2 will give you higher. So in this way, we first take only 3 to understand, and in this way we can expand it to various options available. Because it's not necessary that you have only 3 machines. You may have plenty of machines available and you have to decide that which one am I going with. Correct? So applying the same rule, when we decide these various SSCs are called plan curves, means every SSC like SSC 1, 2, 3, this represents different plant and machinery. So these are plan curves. So when you see this one, something is like, like ball shape, like, it's like a bowl and it's like covering, handling all the small SSCs. That is nothing but the long run average cost curve. Okay, because everywhere in this way only we proceed. Depending upon output, if two options I have, I'll go with the least one. Again, depending on higher the output, I'll go list, and this way we come to again a U-shaped LAC. Okay, so shape is important because in that list of U shape, now you can add LAC also. Okay, because we have not completed the list yet, right? So now, so that funda is applied here. Okay, in the exam, nobody will ask you to draw. Generally, the question that comes in, like what are the other names? So just now we saw other name for short run average cost curve is a plant curve. Okay, we use these and we try to minimize the cost of production that we saw. So now what generally comes in exam, that we will discuss. Okay, so one is that plant curve, that is I already told you, and then here whatever we discussed, it's given here. Like depending upon the different level of output, we decide like which one to go with and which one to leave and all. So basically for output more than OA, up to OA, you will go with SSC1, then OB indifferent, OC this one, everything they have written. They've explained everything, I've explained in my own words, okay? So first you decide and then you come to the LAC. So now LAC, so here also there is the same thing they are saying. Okay, so LAC, they are talking about it, and now what generally comes in exam. The one thing that that is more important here is, one thing you just look at this LAC curve, this one. You will see at every point LAC is tangent to some part of SSC. Yes or no? Just see. It's not intersecting or cutting anywhere. It's tangency. Where is this AC removed? Let us reduce the temperature. I'm not feeling the effect. Are you feeling the impact of it? Just reduce. How much is it now?
24.
Maybe fan speed will increase in.
So it's in 5
Means?
maximum.
Fan speed. So shall we reduce the temperature? Give me, I'll just see if it's anything happening. Mode is changed here. Today I'm not feeling. Maybe auto is better. I think cool is only best, right? We'll reduce the temperature. If you feel cold, then tell me. Okay, as of now, I'm not feeling anything. Let us remove it. It will remain like this. Let it be. Better than that. Okay. See. There is fan, but the fan will disturb the recording. Feeling humid today. You ever feel some type of sweating?
No, I think you can put that taste here.
Where is this?
This one.
Okay, let's try. But it won't work for me. Just put it for some time at least. Before leaving the class, we will wait. Before leaving the class, we will switch off one. Both you keep on. This also.
Actually, I put it in swing mode, it's already got off.
Is it? Just switch on whatever mode or whatever it is. Then that also you switch on. Let's see after some time the impact will be felt, right? So see, now coming to this LAC. Thank you, Arvind, sorry. See, yes. So when you look at this, you will see that the LAC everywhere it is tangent to some or other SSCs, right? It's tangent, means it's not cutting anywhere. Like SSC like this and it's going at the top and cutting it or bisecting it or nothing like that. Okay. So, but one more thing, you please listen. See, whatever I'm saying, it's written in the book, Arvind. So please listen first. Don't write, because when you're writing, you don't listen. I'm sure. See, now see, this is SSC1. Okay, now you see one thing. It's not tangent always to the least of SSC. Now look at the SSC1. Where is the minimum of SSC? It's here, right? You can see. The minimum of SSC, it's this point. You can see the arrow, right? Okay, minimum is there. But LSC is not tangent there. You can see LSC is tangent here. right? Similarly, SSC2, you see again, the minimum of SSC is here, but it is tangent to, you can say, falling part of SSCs. Because SSC is falling, it's reaching its minimum and then it's rising. So, if you see the whole LAC, see there is one SSC which gives you the least cost of production, that is at the point P, right? Everywhere else the cost of production is high. So at this point P, the cost of production is the least, right? So till then, LAC is tangent to the falling SSCs, falling portions of SSCs, am I correct? But once you reach this OQ output, what is happening? Even now also LAC is tangent, but LAC is tangent now to the rising portions of SSC. Please check. Okay, now no longer it's tangent here. It's tangent on the other end here. Right? Here also see at the rising portion. Here also you see at the rising portion like this. Okay, this is what they are asking in the exams. Okay, so what they are asking first, they will ask the tangency. Any equilibrium means it will be tangent. So this paragraph is what we are looking for now. Okay, see, the long run average cost curve is so drawn as to be tangent to each of the short run average cost curves. It will be tangent to every SSC. Every point on LAC will be a tangency with some short run SSC curve. Okay. So if a firm desires to produce any output, it will be give corresponding, that is understood, that you do. Now the problem is that there is only one part of only one SSC that will give you the least cost of production, and that will be the least of LAC also. Because LAC, anything with a U shape, there will be one minimum point. You cannot have lots of minimum points. It's not a straight line, right? So that production comes at, I think, OM level of output. Just check, is it OM where the minimum is got? Is it? Huh. So no, not OM. Sorry, that's OQ. That's OQ. Minimum cost of production comes at OQ output. So at OM, you are not at the minimum. You are at SSC, but it is giving you more cost. You look at the LSC itself. Huh? At OM, you are at G. OG is the cost. But if you are producing OQ, the OP will be the cost. So OP is obviously less than OG. Okay, Shreya? But then we have to decide of the production also. Now, unnecessarily you cannot produce and you can keep, because you have to look for the sale part also, right? But OQ will give you the least cost of production, so that is known as optimum output. So what generally comes in exam, that you just see OQ is known as optimum. Just look, this word is there somewhere. Here. OQ is the optimum output. This you please want. Means optimum output means the output which will be produced with at the least cost. Out of the whole LAC, entire LAC will not give you the least cost of production. Only the minimum of LAC will give you the least cost of production. Okay. So now LAC is not tangent to the minimum points of SSC. When LAC is declining, when LAC itself is falling, it is tangent to the falling portions of SSC. And when LAC is rising, it is tangent to the rising portions of SSC. This type of statements they are asking in exam. Like they will just ask you, pick the correct statement. But tell me, what is so big deal? You draw various SSCs, but SSCs should be drawn in a U shape, because then only LAC will come in a U shape. We'll see that also, why U shape comes. Why it's not a flat line. Okay, that also we will see. But as of now, we remember every point is a point of tangency. LAC will not intersect any SSC. It will be a point of tangency. So as long as LAC is declining, it is tangent to the falling part of SSCs. It will be, and when it is rising, it is tangent to the rising part. Thus, for producing less than the optimum output, means OQ. Okay, the firm will consider the relevant plant and operate it less than its full capacity. Why? Because capacity is of OQ, but you will be using it for less because your production itself is less than that. Generally, what we do is, we buy a little bit, we buy a plant and machine which will have a little more than what is required. Because suddenly, if there is an increase in demand, you cannot go and just install a new machine. So generally, even at home also, if we feel no room is small, 1 ton AC will also work, but still we go for 1.5. Even in washing machine, refrigerator, we feel we have 4 people, I can buy a small one also, but still we go for a little bigger one. Sometimes some more extra things we have to put. See, because this is the reason is very clear. This is a long time investment. I mean, this is not an investment at often. Refrigerator, once you buy, means you buy. You don't keep on buying every year or every 6 months, and you don't just dispose it off, right? So we look for long run. That is why we use the term. I think that window is open. That's why I think we are not feeling the impact. No, you can call this boy now. Tell Vignesh, shall we? Just tell him to switch off the close the window. And this door also I'll ask him to close. Somewhere is not feeling, I'm feeling very humid here. Oh, it's from outside. Achha, I thought it's from inside. Okay. So see, so for producing less than OQ, the firm will construct the relevant plant and operate it at less than full capacity. Today I'm not feeling that AC impact. Just check. This AC working now. Just some mode or else you change a little bit, reduce the temperature a little. See, so at less than its minimum average cost on production, for output suppose larger than OQ, the firm will construct a plant and it will operate it beyond its optimum capacity. But this beyond the optimum capacity cannot be used always because the machine will break down. We have seen. Okay, sometimes, yeah, like sometimes, you know, let us say we are 4 people and 2 more people. So little bit more clothes we can put in the washing machine, or in refrigerator we can adjust a little bit here, there, in the side door somewhere, and we adjust. But that in the long run you cannot do that. Means every time if this is an issue, then you have to replace. Okay, so that's what. So other plants are used at either. So only there is one at OQ only you will be producing at the minimum point of LAC. Actually, we talk about wastage of resource, minimizing, but you know, at real life, in real life also we actually waste a lot of resources. You know, we generally, as I told, generally we buy a washing machine which is little bit more than our capacity needed, because suppose in future, or let us say some of your cousins may decide, okay, I'll come and stay here for 6 months. I want to study in Chennai and come. Anything here, we always be prepared for little more, even in groceries also. Even if we know that, okay, in my home 5 kg rice is enough, but still I keep 1 kg extra. It's not that anybody comes and we rush to buy. Do we do that? So even though we purchase a little bit more at a little bit more price, it's fine. You know, like we cannot work in that strict minimum wastage of food, like a very miser person, conjuice. Okay. So other plants are either only there'll be one plant which will be touching that, the minimum of which will be touching with the minimum of SSC. Okay, other plants are either used at less than full capacity or more than full capacity. In our diagram, only SSC 4 is being operated at the minimum point, which is the minimum of LAC also. Okay, so long run curve is also known as planning curve, another name, very important. And one more name, you write it here only, envelope curve. So it's written later, but you write it here, all the names together. Planning curve, envelope curve, as if it is enveloping all the SSCs. Envelope, what do you call it? As envelope, right? Envelope curve. Or we also call it as boat shaped curve. Boat shape. You can see it's the shape of a boat. It's there later, but it's always good you write all the names together. It's called a planning curve. The reason is very simple. It helps us to plan, like which machine I should buy. So now comes, why is it U-shaped? See, that envelope is here somewhere. I'll tell you. See, why is it a U-shape? So again, when we talk about long run, because you know cost is taken from production. First only we have seen that the theory of cost is derived from theory of production, right? So whatever you have studied in production, like when we talked about SSCs, we took LVP, law of variable proportion, because SSC means short run. So for short run cost, we have to take short run production. Correct? Similarly, this is long run cost, though the shape is still the U shape, but we should take the law which is applicable in long run. So Arvind, now you tell me, in long run, which law was there in production? Returns to scale. So here, if somebody asks you, why is the LAC U shape? Please don't say that stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, because that is for short run. LVP. Okay, so here it is because of returns to scale. That's all. Okay, it's just because of returns to scale. It is written very clearly. This shape of LAC has nothing to do with the U shape of SSC. No. Because U shape of SSC was due to law of variable factor, law of variable proportions. Okay. But U shaped LAC arises due to returns to scale. Very clearly written. Okay. Initially, when the firm expands, we get increasing returns to scale. Increasing returns to scale, again, the same reason, division of labor, specialization of labor. You can put more people to work. So everybody is given their, so one person is not burdened. Okay. So initially, expansion gives you more than what you expect. But when you keep on expanding more, then what happens, you know? Difficulty in management, control, coordination. Here something is happening, there something is happening. You as an owner, you don't even know half of the things. So then you don't get the expected results. Okay, so on this, so as discussed earlier, when the firm expands, first returns to scale increase. After a range of constant, it becomes constant also. Then the returns to scale finally decrease. So on the same line, first LSE declines because product and cost goes reverse. If production is increasing, your per unit cost will fall. Right? So LSE first declines, then finally rises, comes to minimum and then finally rises. So increasing returns to scale costs fall in the LSE, decreasing returns to scale result in rising. So falling LSE and increasing economies of scale result from, so that we are going to talk later. So LSE initially falls, it reaches its minimum and then it rises with a boat shape, right? So that is why we call it as a boat shaped curve. LSE is also called planning curve, just now we have discussed, and also it's called envelope curve. Here it was given, yes. It's always good, you can highlight also, but it's always good that we write all the names in one place. So it becomes easier for you to. Envelope, why? Because it envelopes or it supports a family of SSEs, right? It's like it's an envelope and we have put so many SSEs in this. Okay. Now then, then this is also very common question. Okay, this is on the basis of traditional economic analysis, old, conventional. Actually, modern, or you can say this exists when the state of technology remains constant. Because if you remember, when we take the production, because this is derived from production, cost is derived from production. And if you remember, when we did the production, we saw that technology assumption, there was an assumption that technology should remain constant. Because if technology increases, generally our marginal product increases only, right? So when the modern firms, means modern firms when they are using the latest technology and all, instead of getting the traditional U-shaped curve, nowadays we are getting L-shaped curve. Means instead of a long run average cost increasing, it somewhere remains constant at a very big level of output also. So we get an L-shaped cost curve over a considerable quantity of output. So these questions they generally ask that in modern firms, what type of curves you can get. So it's L-shaped. In the traditional firms where technology is constant, it's U-shaped. Okay, so L-shaped firm, the L-shaped implies that initially when the cost is increased due to increase in size of plant, per unit falls rapidly due to economies of scale. And then it does not increase even after a sufficiently large, because that economies of scale still works. That is the reason we study about economies and diseconomies. So did you all read, at least I told you once you read. Okay, we talked about scale of production. We were talking about the benefits of large scale production. Why it is always advisable that produce more? Because in that case, you have a very good control over your AFC. You can see, like 500 rupees if your total fixed cost is there. 1 unit you are producing 500 AFC, which is a component of AC. AC is AFC plus ABC. But if you produce 100 units, it becomes just 5 rupees. Can you imagine? ABC will not change that much. It may decrease only because initially ABC also falls. So that is why we all as a manufacturer look for higher production. When you started an office and just you are serving 10 clients, maybe you won't be able to recover the expenses. But in case if 100 clients are coming, 200 clients are coming, it's better, right? Same office is able to serve that much, like that. So when we talk about, I told you, we talk about it under 2 different headings, and generally they ask, like from internal, if they want to ask, they'll put one external. From external, they want, well, that is what they have been doing, shuffling. Okay, so internal means you can understand something within the control of the management. Okay, something which is totally management related issue, you can say. So here also we can have, you can say internal economies, and economies means advantages and diseconomies means disadvantages. So internal will be saying something within the firm. So wherein, can you remember, Arvind, can you tell me all the points that we studied under internal? Only headings. Like one was technical economies. What is the next? Any order? Managerial. Very good. Then commercial. Very good. Then financial. Very good.
The last one is
risk bearing. Okay. So now technical we understood technology. When you put good technology, you can get good initially. But after the point of time, that also becomes because that expansion, too much of control problem and coordination problem and all those things. Okay. So where is managerial risk structure?
Exactly.
In what?
Technical I could understand, but if I read managerial,
same. What applies to technical? See, managerial means suppose 1 or 2 people you kept and too much of work is there. So they will not be able to give output, right? Like I told you about division of labor, specialization of labor. But yes, again, you cannot put more people when there is no more demand for your product, no sales, no revenue. Right? So managerial, initially it refers to reduction in managerial cost. So when output increases, when demand increases, then what will happen? You can now put more people. You can afford basically because managers are to be paid first thing. Okay, you can afford them. So then when more people will come means you can divide. You do this much, you do this much. Like in project work and how you in schools you used to divide the work. Then okay, Shreya, you will talk. Actually, we are also going to do the similar things in BCK. In the company, you know, when we'll be talking about chapter 3. So when I start BCK, starting only I will give you some work. Like there are 30 companies, I think, or maybe more now. So five companies I will give to each one of you in the first. I'll give you 1 week's time. So what you will do, you will just see whether the book, whatever is written like CEO, and you will Google, you will find, and you will read about little bit about the company, so that you get to Google the whole day, the phone, laptop. Now use it for some good purpose, because there you know what happens generally, like 1 month. It's not about a question of mark always. You should know a little bit. Suppose you read little bit about Reliance. Suppose you read little bit about Indian Oil. You get to know something, because after this stage, you know, nobody, you won't get time also. To be very true. In inters and finals, you don't talk about this. And after that, you will be a part of one of these big companies. So you should know a little bit about like when did it start, who is the present CEO, what are the qualifications of CEO, who is the CFO. Majority of the CFOs will be CFO. So that will give you one inspiration. Let's see, this fellow is a CA, he is now CFO. This means I can also be after 20 years from now. Like that. Okay, so we have to study it, read it positively, not for marks. And my idea of giving you this work is only that in book what they have written, is it tallying? Means if any changes have come, you will inform me. Well, I will also go through. Don't worry, I will not trust you at all. Okay, but just the idea is that we will divide in this way. 5 you will take, 5 you will take, 5 these 2 girls will take 5. So 20 you will come up with. In one day we will not discuss more than 3. That is also like that. I will not teach it like a chapter. What I will do as soon as I will start BCK means one day, suppose first day, let us say I will give Arvind. So Arvind will, first 5 companies, Arvind will find out. The next share's turn will come. Don't worry. Next to Sanjana and next Soumya. Like that in cycle we will. So suppose first 5 Arvind will check that yes, his CEO name correct. See, date of incorporation won't change. Don't worry. Because it has incorporated in 95, so it's incorporated. So that's all. But anything extra which is not in book, but you feel it's relevant, okay, you can share with us. You can keep a note. That ma'am, this company received this award in this year. It's a very prestigious award. So why not we include this? Because see, this BCK is very vast, like general knowledge. They can ask anything for 1 or 2 marks, and we really cannot predict. Because in this huge world of information, we don't know what they will target. But luckily, if suppose you have read this and it comes, it's good. Then this will enhance your knowledge. See, I will read and I will prepare and come. That's not a problem. But when you yourself read, you get to know beyond the books. Correct? Mostly they're asking within that because they also understand, because it's too vast to be asked from anywhere. Okay? But still, just one reading. So first 5 companies, now itself I'm telling you. Because very soon we'll start BCK. Means maybe after 20th August, hopefully I'll start with BCK. So today is already, what is the date? 8, right? So 12 days you have. So first 5 companies you take. Start just going through it. One way. No problem. Take first one is what is in the book, I don't remember. Whatever it is. Just Google it. Is the CEO name the same or has it changed? If it has changed, you correct it. Even I will. Third lesson, yeah. So just see in your book. 6 to 10 you do, Shreya. And Soumya, you will take 11 to 15. Everybody write how much I'm giving. Arvind 1 to 5. Shreya 6 to 10. Okay, and Soumya, you can take 11 to 15 and Sanjana 16 to 20. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So just, I'm not asking you to learn anything. Just read about it, the companies. And then anything, and from book also you read. Because in book, one para for one company. First, they're going date of incorporation. When did it start? What is the logo? Like, like for Nestle. First exam it came, Nestle. Do you know the logo of Nestle? Yes. What word do they use as a logo? No. Good is there. Yes, good word is there. Good. Like, Maggie advertise will come, or that sauce, Maggie sauce. Any Nestle product will come now in advertisements. They will write at the end. They will speak at the end. By any chance, Sanjana, or Soumya, Nestle?
Ma'am, is it the motto that
means, yeah, that's their objective. It's a one-liner. Generally, with every company have some, like tagline. That's
ma'am, good food, good life.
Good food, good life. Yes. Any advertisement from now onwards, please don't skip the advertisements and see them fully. Because in YouTube, what do we do? Skip ad. Right? But here it will help you. Believe me. It's given in the book also. For majority of them, whatever logo is there, they have given. Like Nestle came in the first exam. And Nestle is very common product in India. Maggie is Nestle. Maggie, Nestle, many products we are using there. We will see in that also it's written. Okay, so Nestle, any Nestle ad you will say then Nestle, good food, good life. It comes if you can recollect. So that came in exam. Similarly for Cipla also we have many. Generally till now they have not crossed the boundaries. That's what I have understood from my students' feedback. But they are asking CEO, CFO, 10 to 12, 10 marks minimum they're asking from that. It's a big lesson. I think 30 companies are there. So in one cycle, at least 5 you cover. So 10, 12, whatever will be there, again we will do it. Okay, next cycle. And in one go, we will in one class we'll take 5 companies only. Not like all 30 together. It's not like just feeding you with information. Not like we'll discuss on this. If something you have received something more, you can share with me. So maybe in future I will also share this with students. Okay, so I'll also keep a note of it. Okay. So see, coming to this, so managerial is that only. See, if any big company is there, they can do this. Small companies, you cannot expect so many people because we have to pay them, right? If our revenue is only not that much, we cannot hire more people as managers, right? So their one manager would be sufficient, but that fellow himself will be looking at everything in the production, in the sales, and here and there, too much of burden will be there on him. But when you start like dividing, you make groups like, okay, this is production, this is sales, this is finance, this is HR. And then within that, if more still people are needed, because work will be more, so managers themselves will say that, ma'am, we are not able to do this. So we need more people. So like that, one team is created. All on trial and error. We see, like if more people are creating issues, some people will fire. Less people, if we feel that we get the feedback that people are less, like that we come to an optimum. Correct. So when this type of like structure is there, the things go very smoothly because everyone know their work. Like here also you see, I know that I have to teach you. That's all. I never ask about law. I never talk about accounts. Why should I? It's not part of my job, right? But if everything was given on me, imagine how difficult it would be. Would be like speaking from morning to afternoon, and you all also will get irritated, right? Looking at me for 6 hours continuously, or you, man, please go. Right? So that irritating, it happens because one person, if you give all the job, it's not really good. So this, but the specialization can come only again because remember what we are studying, large scale production. This specialization can come only when you go for large scale production. It's not only about reducing cost due to AFC. There are many other factors which have an impact on reduction of cost, like managers. Now you are producing in a large number. So that means you're definitely selling more. So now you can actually afford many managers. So what will happen? The thing of division of labor will come, specialization, and HR person will be a specialist in finance, will become a specialist in that. And they will be, work is divided, so everybody do their own work and you don't have to worry about others, right? But then again, the same problem comes. When too much expansion, too many people, so finally we are humans only. So we have a habit of poking our nose in other things. So we start interfering, managers clash will happen, coordination will not happen, control will not happen. Every department is linked to each other, though they are separate. Production needs to know how much is sales. Sales needs to know what is the point, what is the status of production. Finance needs to know what is the cost of production, right? So everybody is interlinked at the end. Okay, but too many people means they will like come in between each other. So generally what you expect, lesser than that you get. So then we reduce the size. Means anything cannot go infinitely to a huge size. That's what they're trying to say. Commercial, you understood. You are able to procure because you're producing now in high numbers, right? So automatically raw material. This is what China does. China gives large scale production in everything. So their cost of production is less because it gets all into this economies. Managerial economies, technical economies. It's applying best of best machines. Because it's producing more, it's able to sell at lower price also compared to its competitors. So it gets even raw materials at very low cost. Like I told you, wholesale retail. Anything you purchase at wholesale. Like talk about notebooks. When you buy one notebook in retail, you might be buying at 30 rupees MRP, let us say. But same if you buy 12 notebooks together, he might give you at 25 per piece, maybe 300 rupees. So generally, in school life, generally your parents must be doing that. Like in the beginning of the year only, they will bring so many notebooks because they know that you need it all throughout the year. So they will purchase 12, 24 and they will keep. Because, okay, one-time investment is high. Then but what happens? You can keep on using. Per unit price goes down, basically. Even in anything, you buy, you for anything, like tea packets if you buy. 100 grams maybe, 100 grams tea packet or 250 grams, let us say. It may be 135 or 140. Like red label, I think it's 135 or 140, let us say. But when you buy, so in that way, if you take 1 kg, so what will be your amount to be spent? 135 into 4, how much it comes? Just multiply please. 135 into 4, 540 it seems. Am I correct? 540. But if you go for 1 kg, it will be much lesser than 540. It may be 500 only. It may be 480 only. Why? Because at a time you are producing 1 kg, buying 1 kg. At a time they are able to sell 1 kg. So they are giving you little discount. That's only the difference between wholesale and retail. You buy in bulk quantity, so they are able to sell in bulk. So they give you little discount since you're buying more. Like that. Okay. Financial, we saw that if it's a large firm, because of its goodwill, it can actually get the money also sometimes at very cheap rate of interest also. And easily they can recover. Okay, compared to others. Risk bearing, obviously nowadays, today is the world of conglomerate businesses. Conglomerate means you just pick up any company, they have diverse themselves into so many areas that some or other area will perform. Like Tata, you see, it's already in groceries also. We get the Tata, Sampann, Dal, everything we are getting. That chef is there, what is his name? Sanjeev Kapoor, he's a brand ambassador of it. I don't know whether you know that personally. Okay, he's a very, very renowned chef in North India. Okay, so he is the brand ambassador of it now. So Tata already it was in salt. Tata is in this automobile sector, a good name. It's also in the steel. Yes, it's also in the software. So see where all they have diversified, because this is the life now. You have to diversify. Many people, why do we say that do BCom also? Because if you are doing BCom, what will happen tomorrow? Let us say by any chance you are unable to complete CA due to any reason. Okay, at least you will have one option. That after BCom, I can go for MBA, some good institution, or even after doing CA, people go for MBA. Do you know that? They don't just stop. Because it's always good that if you have time and if you have money, go for it. Because once you start your career now, it's very difficult to come back to education life again, being a student. Maybe after you will have to take a bit long break. Okay, so where was I? How conglomerate. Okay, diversification. And that is the principle of mutual funds also. Mutual fund. The principle itself is like that. What is that? I just forgot. It was in my mind just now. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because if the basket falls, all eggs gone. So you put in different places. Once I remember a very beautiful ad was coming, and nowadays I'm not seeing. Nowadays, I have also, first thing though, we have stopped watching more TV only. Nowadays, phone, because whenever we have time, we'll just open the phone and we'll see what is happening. And then another problem in that is that, skip ads. As soon as an ad will come, we don't even have the patience to see fully for 30 seconds and all, okay, unless it is compulsory. So some days back, one ad I used to see wherein one boy was in, it was a mutual fund ad. One boy, his birthday came and he brought some laddus to distribute to his friends, okay. So friends, in hostel, how they are taking, he was a small boy only. Everybody started taking laddu. Nobody asked this boy also that whether you ate or you didn't.
He didn't touch like.
And then and then he had kept some laddu separately because he knew that my friends are like this only. So he gave to teachers, he gave to everyone. At last, nothing was left for him. Okay, so he knew that my friends are like this only. Okay, so he had saved somewhere here. So at the end, he was eating under his bed. He was eating. Let's see, even I have. It's mutual fund runs on this concept. That instead of putting the entire money in one place, diversify. So mutual funds, what they do, it's mutual fund. Like if I have taken mutual fund, you have taken, so many people take. So we put very less amount actually. Okay, means you can take any money, but minimum is like 500 or 1000 only. You can take any multiples of 500. So like I have taken for 3000. Every month 3000 rupees I put in mutual fund. It's in one in Reliance and one in HDFC. So I just put the money. I don't have to worry where to put it, because for that they keep one person called portfolio manager. And again, this portfolio manager is mostly a chartered accountant, because he is the person who understands everything. He understands law, he understands share market, everything. So what he does, he will put mutual fund. Now every month, like how I have taken HDFC mutual fund, many would have taken. Many, I mean, lakhs of people at least. Nowadays, salaried people generally go for these things. Okay, so right in they will specify some date, like on which date you feel that your bank account will be like enough money will be there. So we give our own dates, and that day they will take the money. Before that, they even tell us that make sure that you have sufficient money in the bank account and all. And then what they do, then they get the money from everyone. Now the full mutual fund is there, mutual. It's nobody else. It's nobody one person. It's mutual. Then out of that, some person they will put in totally risk-free investment, like bank. Put it, bank gives you 5.3%, you will get 5.3%. Then little in medium risk shares, some in middle high risk, and some in a very high risk also. Because now what did you do? You diversified it. Suppose here in share market some loss came, no worries. At least the bank will give you. The medium one also will give you something. So what happens in mutual fund is that, like suppose banks give you around 5 to 5. Now at present it's 5.3% only, very less. It's better now. It went down to 5% also. So like if you put all your money in your bank, you will get just 5.3%. Right? This is totally risk-free because that is no risk here attached. If you go in share market, you can expect 30%, but again, higher the risk, higher the return. If you expect high return, then 30% loss also, please be ready for that. There are high chances. Right? Now, mutual fund, it diversifies. It puts some here, some here, some here, some here, some here. So somewhere it ends up giving you more than in risk-free, but less than in share market. So it's considered to be the best. It's like middle path, like how Gautam Buddha gave us a middle path. You remember? Not too extreme, not too in the middle path. Leave it. It's not history class. Okay, leave it. Google it later, not now. Okay, so well, means like that. You know, like we saw that even in economic system we saw mixed economy, somewhere between capitalism and socialism, like that, in the middle. Okay, so see. So that's also very good. Those people who are very good in finance and they want to see their career there, they become portfolio managers after becoming chartered accountants. It's a good one. You get to play with, you know, like where to high return, and you get to play with opportunities. You get higher opportunities. You may take your own decisions, and after some experience, you know, you generally tend to take the correct decision. Okay, so you need to be very careful about the share market trends, ups, downs, and all. But it's really interesting too. So now coming to external. So internal, you can understand it is enjoyed by firm within, but external is something, you know, that accrue to the firm as a result of expansion of the whole industry, and it does not accrue to you alone. It will accrue to the whole industry who are into the similar type of projects or like that. So like, you know, like cheaper raw materials. So see, expansion of an industry may result in the exploration of new and cheaper source of raw material, right? Machinery, like those, there are many, you can say factories or industries which are producing machinery. Now the industry is expanding. Let us say automobile industry is expanding. So they need plant and machinery. So demand increases. So many people will start, means many factories will now start, which will start making these machineries, and they will be competitive now. Maybe earlier only 1 or 2 factories must be making these producer goods, but when there's a high demand for this, many others will come looking that, okay, this is a good idea, let us also start with this, right? So it is benefit when more competition happens. It's good because you can now get the same thing at lower price. So it's good for you. So this is, you can say, cheaper raw materials and capital equipment. Okay, so expansion of industry results in greater demand for various kinds of material and capital requirements. So firm can procure on large scale competitive prices from other industries. So this reduces the cost of production. Now see, technological. Now you know this they are asking mainly because there you saw technical. Now very easy to confuse you. Which of the following is not an internal? So one option will be technical and one will be technological. And don't think they're fools to write external also. Which does not come under internal, technological, and here technological economies, and there they will write technical economies. Technical is for internal, technological is for this. Now, what is the difference? So see, when the whole industry output, it may result in the discovery of new technology itself, which you will buy, then it will become technical for you. Understood? If something is available, then only you will buy. And if nobody is producing that, how are you going to buy? Like that. So this will change the technical coefficient, and also finally what you have to understand is be very careful about the headings. Okay, development of skilled labor. See, when an industry expands, the laborers also become well accustomed to, like Jamshedpur is a very good example of this. That was a tribal area 100 years back. But when from the time Tata has come, like Jamshedji Tata decided that this is the place I'm going to, he took on lease for 100 years. Very recently, the lease has been renewed, if you don't know. Then, the people now people started getting job. Okay, when they started getting job, they thought that let my kids also be an engineer. Because after me, maybe let them take the job because this factory is here. So like that, the whole, you can say, the labor is developed in that area. If you go to that place, it's like a cosmopolitan. It's a small place, much smaller than Chennai, but you will see people from all over the country staying and residing there. Okay, means it's like a mini India, you can say. Then growth of ancillary industries, obviously. Expansion of industry, and ancillary means small industries. Like I'll give a very good example. Like automobile industry, Chennai is a hub. If you go to Ambattur industrial area and all those, Chennai is hub. Okay, so for automobile, the small things, like one example, I'll give you nuts and bolts. That's small nuts and bolt if you have seen. Okay, there are so many industries that have come up near in Chennai alone who are manufacturing nuts and bolts and supplying to these main industries. Because nuts and bolts nobody makes. Big industries will never make. They will just procure it from another. So Sundaram Fasteners is a very good example. It makes nuts and bolts and it has crores of turnover. If you see one nut and bolt, its price is 3 or 4 rupees only, 5 rupees. But they have turnover of crores because they're the major supplier of the automobile industry. So when you will be a CA, you will get to visit these plants as an auditor or with your initially with your principal. But finally, if you take company audits on your own, you'll be visiting them. Whatever they are writing in the books of accounts, you have to sometimes physically also you have to verify, right? Like if they say we have a plant of machinery of 10 crores, now you have to go and see whether it is really existing or just they have written. So physical verification means physical visits happen for this audit purpose. Then better transportation and marketing facilities. Automatically, when a industry develops, you will see everything develop around. That's true. Okay, other businesses are there which also depend on this. Like if you go to Jamshedpur or any such area, where this type of big company has come up, you will see nearby, many businesses will start. So automatically government will also focus on that place. They will make good roads. They will come up with better internet power facilities and internet facilities and our infrastructure. Even in Chennai, Ambattur industrial area, you see it's so well developed. So because so many industries, you go to any industrial area, finally, initially it might be like a village, but after a point of time, it starts developing. Okay. Economies of information. So nowadays, the information is very easily transformed due to this internet. Thanks to this. So that's what I said here. Nothing too much worry about what is given and what is not given. Focus on the points mainly, because asking a question from this itself is a challenge. What to ask? Okay. So now quickly we will move towards the next part of it. That is, I have to download it, right? So anything else is left out in this? What?
We're about to download chapter 4, ma'am.
I'll start now.
Yes, ma'am. Unit 2, we have already downloaded chapter 4, right?
So that was unit 1, now. It's unit wise. What did you say? That was separate. That was we downloaded second unit, I think, not the first unit.
Can you put on the AC?
I'm feeling cold. I'm still not feeling the effect. I don't know why. What's wrong with me today? Maybe. You're feeling cold?
On the backside, it's like.
Switch that off. Not this one. I'm not getting anything. You come and sit here. Don't feel anything. For some people, really go in some warm area. You will feel that impact. What is this? Yeah, here we have to go back to
We have to go to the students.
This only where I'm.
Then
College portal.
Then you have to scroll down. Okay.
So actually, we have just come to the last part only, basically, because 2, 3 more units, 2 units and 1 chapter. That's all. Then we can start with BCK. Meaning and type of marker. This is very simple. It just takes hardly 1 class, in 1 hour. So I don't even need to download it. Can you see the screen, online people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do this thing, how to get rid of it? Will it come?
I have to put that 3 lines. Here.
Which
This one, the 3 lines.
Okay, this one.
That.
So what will happen? Why to download? It's a small one. No point. Today I finished this. There is nothing. Half of the things we know. Revenue concept and all we already know. You remember revenue we have done in that total expenditure method, if you remember. Okay. So see, when we see market, what is the meaning of market? Market means, what do you imagine? What when you see a market, Nagar market, best example, you take big crowd, buyers, sellers. And one important part about market is that you need to pay. Do you really get anything free there? I don't think so. Okay, with not free, there is such a big crowd. If there is a free thing, you go to Ranganathan Street. Oh my God, it is so crowded always. And suppose by chance you go during Pongal or Onam or some festival, how they will push and no COVID, nothing. I mean, you only will be wondering where to go. Inside the shops, it will be highly crowded. Outside also highly crowded means automatically you visit the market. I mean, you don't have to wonder where to go. Somebody will push you, and then you ended up to one place. By chance, once only I have gone to that market. Okay, one of my friends said a long back. She said it's a very good one, and I was so foolish. I didn't know maybe that time that I should not have visited during 14 January. That's Pongal day. I visited exactly on 10th or 11th January. God knows what happened to my this mind. And literally, I was half of the time I was like, where am I? I was only worried about going back home safely because I was not able to cross the street also. I was automatically pushed to some place where I did not want to go. Where are you laughing, Shreya? Have you ever experienced this, what I'm saying? How are you laughing, Arvind? He was not laughing, you are laughing, he's just smiling. You're literally laughing, imagining me in that position, right? That I am there, man is there, and somebody gave a, not a kick, but definitely a push. And then you end up somewhere. Which inside the shop also no place. You want to just see something, na? Go. They did not even allow me to look at the products properly also because so much of rush. If you stand in one place for 5 minutes, like how in Tirupati, Tirumala Darshanam, you just have to open your eyes wide open because suddenly you will be pushed. And you will be wondering where is God and your turn is over. Isn't it like that? Okay, I was like, what to see and what to buy. Before that only they are pushing me. So I did not do any purchasing and I ran back home. I said, I'll come after 2 months, not now. Okay, so one thing is there, we here talk about only economic goods. Okay, see, imagining a teacher in this position, you are laughing, huh? Very bad. See, anyways. So see, here we need to pay a price. Okay, in market you need to pay a price. We don't get here any good which are you can call. We actually in economics we don't talk about free goods or goods which are available at zero price. So basically, what do we talk about? Economic goods. Like how we say economic activity. So here we for our main for our what is our subject of concern? Economic goods and services means where you need to pay. Okay, so I remember when I used to teach CPT, here all the portions were same only. So in fact here it's more. Now again I have to download? No, it is in Chrome, right?
No, it's open.
It's open now. Thank God. See, so zero prices. Okay, where in economics there is no concept of this free goods. We don't talk about it. Only goods which are. So I remember in CPT the examples were given air, water, and sunlight.
Water is eliminated.
Eliminated. I also, whenever I used to teach, I used to say, where is water free, my dear? Because that time we had, like, CPT was only till 2017, so we were very new to this place. And I remember that we used to purchase water. Because the filter was not working only, where we say the water with, what was the salinity level is so hard water, that my filter so many times it was serviced, it would work for a few days, again it would give up. Because earlier when we were in Jamshedpur, the water was very good actually, fresh water, river water. So it did not have that much of, hard salt and all. And here hardness is high. So we had to no other option than to purchase that 20 liters thing. So I used to say, where is water free? I am paying for water and we are drinking. Right. So finally in this foundation, we remove water. No point. Only as of now, two things are available for free to us, air and sunlight. And sunlight are too much in Chennai. No need to worry. Fully free. Okay. So these are called free goods. And why are they free? Because they're abundant in supply. Too much of supply in relation to demand. And so we need no cost to obtain them. Whereas economic goods are scarce in relation to the demand and they have an opportunity cost as well. Okay, so they're exchangeable in market and they command a price. So now how does price come? We have done everything actually. Price is nothing but you can say when demand and supply wherever they meet, that gives us the price of the thing. So price connotes money value, purchasing power of an article expressed in terms of money. Okay, here one more name comes, Ricardo. Now where have you heard Ricardo? You have heard. I have taught. Poet will come here. Sanjana and Soumya, even you both are a part of our class. So if you know where have you read about Ricardo, you can speak.
No, ma'am, don't remember.
You don't remember. Soumya? Today I taught this and I came here. Not to you in another place.
Then
it must be somewhere in this only. Yes, it's in the first unit of, because I'm there in not in cost, I'm in production. See, I've given you enough hint. Production, land has indestructible power. Ricardo. According to Ricardo, land has indestructible power. So there you have read about him. Okay, so wherever you see some familiar word means immediately, because that question has also come in, and even this question has also come in exam. Because see, this is a very small unit. There are in total 12 pages. Okay, so see, this is a very small unit and 2 or 3 questions, maybe 3, 4 you can expect from this part. Okay, so not that much, maximum 2 or 3. But generally it's theory. Okay, so Ricardo talks about value in exchange. So value in exchange means that only command over commodities in general or purchasing power means when I want some good or service in exchange, what I'm ready to give. Because in free goods, we are not supposed to give back anything. But in this, you have to give. And give what? Money. Because we are no longer in that barter system. So we are not speaking about that. Okay. So we need to distinguish between 2 important concepts here. One is value in use and another in value in exchange. So here value in exchange is something which Ricardo told, not value in use. So value in use refers to the usefulness or utility. Okay, so something which satisfies the human, you can say, needs. So just read that para. Just 1 minute. Okay, so just 1 minute. Just take a call. Hello. Hello. There will be no network here, right? Just 1 minute. Hello. 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 So see, so here we talk about value in use. So when we say value in use, we mean what? Usefulness or utility. Though we know that they both are not same thing. Okay, usefulness is different and utility is different. But when we talk about value in exchange, we understand we also call it as economic value. Keep this in mind. Okay, amount or goods or services which may be obtained in exchange of a particular thing. So what do we generally exchange? Obviously money. Okay, we are not in that barter system anymore where we take something and we give something. So small things you have to remember. So, but in economics, we are only concerned about exchange value. We are not concerned about that value in use. Okay, we have to only worry about exchange value. So consideration like sentimental value and all those we don't consider here. Sentimental value means subjective. Okay, like if a person says to his best friend, I like your car, and if you give it to me, I'll be obliged to you forever. That and all has nothing to do with if the friend says, okay, give me 10 lakhs and take my car, that will be considered in economics. Okay. So exchange value, how do we determine? So we have already done this, the price, demand, supply, wherever they meet, that is the exchange value, right? So then again, in market need not be formal nowadays, okay, because and you know, especially online shopping. So nowadays it's not at all needed that market means it should be a physical place. Okay, it can be an online platform as well. So just read this para once and you whatever you feel important for you, you generally read. There's nothing so much. Okay, first we used to have second-hand markets for second-hand goods, but nowadays everything is converting to online. Second-hand car, sale, purchase. You can just apps are there, and then you can definitely visit, but not as such how earlier it used to be. Right? So earlier we used to say market means only physical market. You want to buy anything, you need to go to the market. But now online shopping and all is really made it like no more physical. Okay, so the elements, yeah, there are 5 points here which you have to remember because from this it's very easy for them to ask a question. First is buyers and sellers, product or service, bargaining, yes, and ladies are very good at it. Right, Arvind, your amma bargains sometimes, or maybe often.
You don't know, my father only.
She won't go to purchase anything. Why? Totally your home.
My father only used to buy everything for us.
Okay. Okay. So when she wants to purchase something for her, like sari or something, that also your dad will do. Is it? Oh my God, really? Okay. Then knowledge about market conditions. Okay. And then one price for a product at a given time. Means price cannot change. Suppose you are buying 5 bottles and one bottle is 100, you cannot say one at 100, another at 120, third one at 18, like that. Okay. So 5 points you will remember. I hope you can learn now itself. Okay. Buyers and sellers, product or service, bargaining, knowledge about market conditions, and one price for a product. So now this could be a proper, see from here maximum 3 to 4 months. Okay, so it's fully theory and a common sense theory. There's nothing like very tough. So markets are generally classified into product market and factor market. Product market means where you get goods or services, and factor market means where you get the factors of production like land, labor, capital, and all those things. Okay, so product market allocate goods, factor market allocate the productive resources to producers. So product market are for consumers, you can say, and factor market are for producers. So the prices in factor market are known as factor prices. You know, like in microeconomics, we have studied factor prices. Means it comes under micro, means prices of factors of production. So in economics, generally the classification is again made. So there are 6 points again here. So generally the markets are classified on the basis of what? So here also, when you are studying, you can make a sub-branching and sub-branching in this area. There's enough space given in book. Okay. So what branching and sub-branching? So you will write 6 headings there are markets. So one on geographical area, one on time, one on nature of transaction, one on regulation, volume of business, and type of condition. So these are the 6 headings under which the markets are divided. So they can ask you which of the following is not a form of classification of market, and they'll give you 3 and then one something from their own side, which will be the wrong answer for you. Like that. And then under branching, there is sub-branching also. Like on the basis of geographical area, we have local market, we have regional market, we have national market, we have international market. So if you branch it, because from this they're asking. Okay, so under means they will ask you, many times I've seen. Like local markets come under, so anyway, it's common sense, it comes under geographical, but they will give you on the geographical, on time, on this, on that, like that. So local market, you can understand that is confined to one local area or region. Right, like when in Chennai you go to that Coimbatore. So there may be many things which are getting in Coimbatore you may not get anywhere else. Right? Generally, what type of goods come under this? Highly perishable and bulky articles. They can ask you. They're asking like this. Highly perishable, like milk. We have discussed about highly perishable goods also. Or what? Fruits. But in that also there are some category of fruits which are not highly perishable. Right? Some will be like strawberries are highly perishable. Fish, milk, flowers, this type of commodities generally have local market. You cannot expect them to be transported to big areas. That's why flowers around you see in Chennai, how much you get. Maybe in other nearby areas also you will get. Because highly perishable. Okay? So like that. So the transport, like sand market is again a very good example. Sand that you need for construction. Generally, you will not get a market for this. There are dealers who will take you directly to the site and they will load it because it's not a commodity that they will take and you cannot expect a big shop with full of sand. Right? Is it possible? It's heavy, very bulky commodity. Plus, traveling over a long distance is uneconomical. I mean, your price will go very, very high. So, if you want to buy sand, you have to directly take it from the site. Maybe they'll take you to some river bed, they will take you to some place, and directly from there they will send to the construction site. Okay. So, in this case, the extent of market is limited to particular locality. So, like hairdressers, some hairdressers will be available in some particular place only, not everywhere. Okay. So, this is called local market. Then comes regional market. Regional market means obviously from the name itself you can understand it covers a wider area. Maybe few adjacent cities or parts of states or even cluster of states also. Okay, like I will tell you, suppose natural salon. I think it is available only in Chennai, as far as I know. Okay, but when we talked about Veg Sangeeta restaurant, so this is even if you go to Andhra and now, so it has covered international markets also. So it doesn't even come under regional. But I'll tell you, there are some products like sambar masala, like 777 or Shakti or Achi. Generally, you get in the whole Tamil Nadu. Plus, you can get even in Andhra, you can get even in Kerala, these 3-4 states. But as soon as you cross that, you go to central India or northern India. No, you are not able to get this. Because there nobody knows this. Then if you want to buy some sambar powder, means you may get Everest. Everest is at a national level. MDH is at a national level. So like that means how much area it covers, where all it is available, according to that. So this is generally large and so there are some products, like Kanchipuram saris, you will get more mainly in Kanchipuram exactly, or in Chennai also for sure, maybe whole Tamil Nadu, maybe Andhra, Kerala, Karnataka, but not in Delhi and all. It's not so easy. There may be hardly any outlet. And suppose in Delhi it's a big city, but not in every other place. No, not possible. Similarly, this Banarasi silk, so Banaras side and all mostly available, but not in other places. Some places, like in Odisha, I am from Sambalpur. So there we get Sambalpuri silk. So there you get in Odisha somewhere nearby also, but not like all over India. It's not possible. But now, actually, after studying everything, at the end they're writing, now the division is a waste. I mean, this bifurcation. Why? Because online shopping has changed everything. If you're thinking, what, ma'am, Banarasi, I ordered online. So that's possible. But earlier it was like this only. That's why somebody used to, even now when I go from Chennai, everybody will ask me, bring Sakti Sambar Masala. Because after tasting that, they are not liking that Everest and MDH fully gone. So online may be available, but I generally go once in a year. Okay, so generally that has a shelf life of 6 months, 8 to 9 months. By the time somebody else will visit me. So the first thing that they ask me to bring is Sambar Masala. Sambar Masala and this Rasam Masala. They are saying that after tasting this, now we are not liking anything else. That happens. Earlier, somebody used to go somewhere and say, bring this because this is a specialty. But now online shopping and all this has changed everything. Then regional market. Regional we saw. National market. So from the name itself, you can understand which whole throughout the country you can get. Like I told you, MDH, Everest, these are some brands, Maggi, you can find all over India. It's not that you will find only in Tamil Nadu and not in Gujarat, everywhere. Okay. And then international means obviously which crosses the boundary. Like vegetarian, I told Sangeeta, it has opened in Abu Dhabi, it has opened everywhere. So it's no longer a regional or even anything. It's totally no longer local, no longer regional, no longer national. It has gone to international level. So this is so common a thing. What is such a big deal? Okay. But now they are saying, but here, generally what they're asking is this. Usually dash commodities are demanded and traded internationally, high value and small bulk. Value should be more and weight should be less, like gold, silver, platinum. They are generally international market. Okay, but see, the above classification has become more or less outdated now because in modern days, even perishable goods have international market. Come on, fish and all these are exported. But yes, they need many such infrastructure like refrigeration facility. You will see you can get frozen chicken and frozen everything, highly perishable goods, right? But then frozen, when you purchase also, like obviously we won't purchase, but yes, like frozen peas, this thing of frozen corn. If you purchase immediately, you have to freeze it in your home. If you keep it outside, means it will become bad. Right? So nowadays, these diaries of no use. Then comes on the basis of time. The second, here again, Sir Alfred Marshall. Conceive the time element. So mark all these names. Again, in this also, he divided into 4 categories. Very short period, long period, and very long period, which is also known as secular period. Another name. This question often comes in exam. Dash is known as very long period, or very long period is also known as secular period. Okay, so now here the basis of like there, it was mainly for like first one was for highly perishable. Last one, international market means price should be high, weight should be less. So it'll be easy to, you can say, transportation. Benefit will be more than cost. Right? Otherwise, big things, if you will transport internationally, means transportation cost will go very high. Right? But here it's all on demand and supply. Means how much you can adjust the supply on in response to demand. Depending upon that, that was mainly on geographical area, how much area it covers. Okay, here it is mainly on the demand supply gap. Okay, so very short period market, also known as market period. Please mark. Another name are very, very important. Market period or very short period refers to period of time in which supply is fixed totally. You can say elasticity of supply is 0. So which type of commodities we are seeing generally in this? But types of commodities. Supply. Now we are talking from demand point of view. Supply. Come on, Arvind. Yes, Soumya, Sanjana. Which type of commodities generally where yes, elasticity of supply used to come 0, that straight line, vertical line?
And we can't extend the raw material.
Highly perishable commodities. Again, write it down. Commodities like vegetables, flour, fish, egg, which are highly perishable and supply cannot be changed. You remember I gave an example also that fisherman. This question is exam question. Suppose a fisherman, whatever price is available in the market, he will dump the fish and he will come back. Price doesn't matter. That means if you will draw and graph for this, you get a vertical demand curve, right? Like this. A vertical supply curve, sorry. But curve shape is that vertical. What happened? So this is supply curve, so you can write elasticity of supply is 0. Hey, this problem comes with me only or with sir also? Eh? Not able to select. I just want to select.
So they are perfectly inelastic.
Perfectly inelastic, yes. ES is 0. Because this is the quantity supplied and this is the price. Whatever be the price. And price is determined by demand and supply. That is a demand increase. Like you see, during Deepavali and all, you will see the demand for flowers will go very high. Because everybody demands. That is the day I think when every house think of, generally we don't put so many flowers and decorate so much, right? On some festival, maybe Pongal, maybe Onam. On these days specifically, we think that let us bring some flowers, more flowers than usual, and we make rangolis and we on the door and here and there, right? So demand increases. Now supply cannot increase. Demand, like suppose normally demand is this and supply is this. Oh, now I'm able to. Yeah. Let us say supply is this. So suppose this was our equilibrium price. Marker.
Demand shifts.
So now demand will shift to right due to the power or due to any festival, not due to price. Okay, non-price factor. So you can see what will marker. So what will happen? The price will go up. Very, very bad diagram. I'm better removing it like a ghostly diagram. What will do? I'm not able to use it. Well, okay. So highly perishable commodities again come here. Supply cannot be changed in a very short time. Okay, since supply is fixed, very short period price is dependent on demand. So increase in demand will raise the price. You already know this. We have done the shift of curve. Then comes short period. So very is removed now. So you will, when you will do branching, you will do the sub branching. Okay, on time we have very short period, then remove the short period, then long period, and very long period, like that. So it's easy to remember. Now short period, now see, so stupid definition. Short period is a period which is slightly longer than very short period. Oh my God. Very funny definition, right? This will not come in England. Because they know that they are not fools and we are also not fools. Short period is a period which is slightly longer than very short period. That's why the very word gets removed, right? But here the main thing is that supply may be increased by increasing the employment of variable factors with a given fixed factor and state of technology. Means supply can be moderately adjusted. Okay, like best example, like during Deepavali, when there's suddenly, suddenly what to say? It is expected that there will be a high demand for sweets.
And
Deepavali,
clothes.
huh?
Clothes.
Clothes also, yes, maybe. Okay, so generally let us say sweets because we have to put some labor also here. Okay, so generally we know that during Deepavali or maybe Pongal when you generally buy sweets. I think in every house, at least in Deepavali, sweets are purchased. Okay, just because even though we are not eating, that is the reason festivals are celebrated to just to take a break from this hectic schedule. But for ladies, it becomes more hectic. So sometimes I hate these festivals. Well, okay, so see, so even though we don't eat on a regular basis, sweets and all, but Deepavali is there, friends will come, family members will come. So we feel like some sweets will send to them or whatever. So they know that maybe supply because many times if you go late night, you don't get sweets also. Like you go to Sri Krishna sweets or grand sweets and there's a gali also. Late, nalite. Okay, come tomorrow. Right? So that means you are late. Okay, that means they try. They also know that people will come. Okay, but they try to increase the output. But tell me, oh, this demand is for 2 to 4 days. Deepavali will go, demand will go. So should they come up with a new branch? Obviously. Then what do? They increase the number of laborers. Because the laborers is very easy to get in India. We are labor surplus economy. Okay, so the people who are permanently working there, they only bring 5 or 10 with them. Their cousin, their uncle, their somebody, their son, and chalo, start doing whatever you know. Okay, start making some sweets, do little something. There'll be some supervisor who will supervise them. Okay, and in this way, they try to adjust the supply as much as possible. Moderately adjusted means demand will still be higher than the supply. Maybe that is the reason also during that time, the prices of them are a little bit more only. Sweets are a little bit more than usual prices. Okay, so here this comes under short period. We try in the previous one, supply cannot be adjusted at all. Little bit also because flowers and all you cannot adjust the supply. You can't ask the gardener, hey, today I need more roses, 5 roses more come up. How will it come up? Right. But here you can input some few laborers. You can even buy raw materials also. What is needed for sweet? Buy more milk, buy more sugar, and start making whatever you can make. Because the idea is this is an opportunity. Many people will come to buy sweets, and we should try to sell as much as possible. We should try to earn as much as possible. That's all. Then comes long period market. Here, long period. All factors become variable, long run. And supply may be changed by altering. Means supply may be fully adjusted. Fully adjusted. More demand, more supply. Like that. Like buying a car. You never say a no. You never get a no to here. They will take some time. Like order, they take some 5 days, 10 days, whatever. But the product will be delivered. For sure. Okay, very long period of secular market, another name very, very important, is one when the secular movements are recorded in certain factors. Means this period is very long, like pre-LPG, post-LPG, when we want to compare this type of things. Okay, so the factors like size of population, capital supply of raw materials like this. Then coming to the next one, on the basis of nature of transactions, very easy. Now here what they're doing, they're asking, like spot market comes under what? So on the basis of nature of transaction, on the basis of that what we study, time element, on the basis of geographical, like that also they're asking. Reverse in this way, that way something. But you have to be very careful about the headings. That really helps. It's a very easy score from this part. So when it's spot or cash market, so that is what generally we do. We buy a thing and immediately we pay. Okay, that cash sales you can say. Okay. Cash is payable immediately, and thus they are called spot market. Forward or future market, here transaction involve contract with a promise to pay and deliver good at some future date, like in foreign currency we have. Even in gold and silver we can do that. Suppose you know that you want to purchase, let us say after Deepavali, there is a marriage coming up in your home, let us say. So now it's August. At this time, the prices of gold are little less compared to during Deepavali, because again the reason, demand increases. In Deepavali, 2 days before Deepavali, there is a in North India, they celebrate, it's called Dhanteras. So on that day,
usually
for Tamilian, I think it's 1 day before Deepavali.
No.
Then
Akshay Tritiya we will have an
Akshay Tritiya also we celebrate.
Dhanteras is usually for silver only.
No,
Like
that
here-
day you can buy any
Here
jewelry.
in Tamil Nadu, we will be buying
Silver.
silver.
Okay, for us we can buy gold also, but we don't buy gold because gold is out of reach now always. Means every Akshay Tritiya and every Dhanteras you can't go and buy gold, right? So, but they say there is good that you buy gold or silver, or nowadays so people are buying steel things also and coming seriously to be very true, because it might go very costly for everyone. So people are buying even steel utensils also. They'll buy one spoon, they'll buy anything and they will come. And in Odisha, the people say that you can buy brooms also, broom to clean. So It's all in mind here. Nothing. It's all tradition. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. But chalo, suppose there are. We know that actually North India in Dhanteras and all that there'll be a price of gold little bit going high. Demand will go up. Okay. So now suppose you also feel that after Deepavali when marriage is coming. So and you can and we have to buy let us say 100 grams gold for that. So what you can do? You can go, you can visit a jeweler, you can pick a design, you can give some amount as payment, like token money, and then you can say, but today I don't want to buy. It's not a good day. Generally, some auspicious day and all we select, right? So you can but enter into a contract. You know the essentials of a valid contract, right? You can just enter into a contract. You can take a slip that see, I have paid this much, and remaining money I will take that give that day when the actual amount thing is handed over to me. This type of contract are called future contract. Then whatever is the price on Diwali day or the day you have decided, that price will not matter. The price of today will matter. So if suppose the price falls that day, you are at a loss. Suppose today you have entered into a contract at let us say 50,000 per 10 grams of gold. And to your bad luck that after Deepavali you are expecting the price to go up, but the price went down to 47,000. But you will pay at what rate? 50,000. Risk is involved in this. Future transaction. It's like share marketing. People invest in this also. On the basis of regulation, we have regulated market. From the name itself, you can understand it's highly regulated. Like for example, stock exchange is regulated by SEBI. So we'll study in BCK. Unregulated means where there are no such transactions. Any person, vegetable, you go to Coimbatore, you will get Takali at 10 rupees kg now. But in near to your home, they will give at 18. So no such regulation. In this, they don't have regulation because they know that consumers themselves will decide what to buy and when not to buy. So if you feel it's very high, you will go to Coimbatore. If you feel no, why who will go to Coimbatore 10 kilometers better to buy, you will buy. Okay. On the basis of volume, wholesale and retail come. Wholesale means business to business. Like when you order anything in this big basket or in Amazon or all. So they don't have anything. They're mediators. B2B. They will just get it from various other places and they will deliver to the product. They are not manufacturers or anything. And retail market is where commodities are sold in small quantities, very near your house, you just buy 1 unit of anything, 2 units. So this is generally B2C, business to consumer. Now here this question is very common. Dash is the market for ultimate consumers. Answer is retail market. This is one question I've seen. Then on the basis of competition, we will do later because the third unit is totally on this. So here there is no point talking about it. Okay, because we will do perfect competition, we'll do. So why unnecessarily one line I will talk here unnecessarily. So now we will come directly to revenue concept. That also we have done. You remember total revenue is what we have done in the total expenditure. Total revenue is the total expenditure. Revenue is from the seller's point of view and expenditure is from the buyer's point of view. So when a person who is a seller, when he wants to find out total revenue, it's nothing but price into quantity. Suppose a person is selling this bottle 100 rupees per bottle. He sold 20 bottles in the day. So what will be the total revenue generated? 2,000. Price into quantity. That's common sense. Okay. Now here these diagrams also, as of now, I am leaving because these are related to particular types of market. Like this is for monopolistic competition. This is for perfect competition. So remind me when I complete that. At the end, I'll come back to this. But yes, you have to do. Otherwise, I'll forget. Like how in demand forecasting, I had actually forgotten. Okay, so you will remind me. Okay, so now coming to average. Now you remember average means any total, respective total by quantity. So if you want to find out AR, it is TR by Q. Finish. So now this is very interesting. TR is what? Just now we saw price into quantity. Correct? Divided by quantity. So QQ gets cancelled shape. Please look here, my dear. I'll finish by the time you are turning the pages. That's right. See, what is AR? Any average is respective total by quantity. So total revenue just now we saw. P into Q divided by Q. So will the QQ gets cancelled? Yes. So you can say average revenue is the price. Yes. This very common question in exam. Okay, AR is nothing but the price of 1 unit. And so AR curve is also called the firm's demand curve. Often this question comes in. Okay, what? That average revenue is nothing but price per unit. Price of 1 unit, and it is nothing but the demand curve. Because in demand curve, what do we do? Price at different prices, what is the quantity demanded, right? So generally they ask this question. Coming to marginal. Oh, again my favorite is here. Now they started putting. Okay, marginal, again the same. Marginal revenue will be derived from total revenue. So we can have two formulas. Either it can be TRN minus TRN minus 1, or my favorite, delta TR by delta Q. Now for numerical, again, needless to say, you will take this formula. Same story. So one example is given, that is your homework. Okay, there are many book back questions here which you can really do. Now to your that is due now, right? Cost in production. What about demand and supply? When am I getting that? Any idea? Shreya madam. Independence Day till that I asked. I gave you the time, right? Okay. And it applies for Sanjana and Soumya also. Okay, not more than that, because then I have to give you cost in production. When will you do that? Right? At least before the exam, you have to complete all these at least 2 to 3 times minimum. One revision doesn't help. But this is the first time you will do. Then whatever answer you did not get it correct in the first attempt, now mark it. Because next time you have to focus on those questions. That's a human psychology. Everything you will not get correct in the first time. You will make mistakes. So generally what you make correct in the first time, the second attempt also you will make it correct. Third attempt also correct. But what you made mistake in the first attempt, there are high probability that you will again go wrong. So that revision is more important. So at least, before exams, you get an idea. You summarize it, that these things I have to first finish, these questions. Okay. So now when we will see the relationship between TR and MR, that's the last thing we will do today. Okay. So see. Again, this thing now we will do in the, because see, this is again for perfect competition. Now you don't know perfect competition, unnecessarily they put all these things. So that we will take. So some things, you just remind me, I'll come later. I mean, after completing that one. So as of now, I'll come to this one. This thing also I'll come later. Maybe after teaching, then I will not need to teach this here, because by then you will be proficient in that. So now we will come to this one. Yeah, this relationship we will definitely do. Relationship with AR. AR is also known as what, Sreeram? Just tell me. Also known as another name. Are you saying
Price.
Price per unit. Okay, very good. So there is one very important relationship here. MR is equal. Now here they are asking. What they do, pick the correct formula. And one formula will be the correct one. Other all, to confuse you. One confusion, instead of MR, they will write AR. AR is equal to MR into E minus 1 by 1, wrong option. Another wrong option, maybe MR is equal to AR into E by E minus 1. So this formula you have to mug up. How you are mugging up, that's you see, but you have to mug up. MR is equal to AR into E minus 1 by E. That's all. Okay, no changes here and there. Now E stands for elasticity, you already know. Okay, now this is related to, again, the straight line demand curve. Tell me, have you ever seen this one? Malevan curve. Do you know this? Now don't say no. Then I'll be disappointed. You are even taking Sunday leave. In another places there are no system of leaves. If you remember, if you know. Even in here also we did not have. I used to take classes on Sunday, but yesterday I wanted a class, you also agreed. No. Where have you read this one? Tell me. Where have you seen this girl? Sanjana, you can also say. Soumya, you can also say.
And what, like, is the first one or the second?
First one. Upar wala. Male. You know this? But where exactly?
The second chapter.
Hey, like that thing. Under which topic?
And geometry method.
What method? Yes, I think you are correct, Sanjana. Please tell us. Geometric method or graphical method of, wait, Arvind, now you tell. It comes under which?
Point elasticity.
Yes, it comes under point elasticity. Very good. You remember we used to start from x-axis, elasticity of low, 0. At the midpoint, 1. Anywhere between this and this, less than 1. Y-axis, infinite. Here, greater than 1. Now this we will relate with, what? Marginal revenue. Now please go to the formula. What is the formula? See, that's just what we saw.
Marginal revenue is equal to average revenue by E minus 1 by
C and L. Please see. Both of you see.
MR is equal to AR into E minus 1.
MR is equal to AR. AR is what? Price. Okay, price into E minus 1 by E. Now look here. Okay, look here, and in that they're asking numerical also. That's really good. You know the formula. If they'll say price is 30, elasticity is let us say 2. Find out the MR. Put in the formula, you will get. Okay, now MR is equal to AR. Now this one is MR. Kile MR. No. MR is this one. Sorry. MR is the downward sloping curve. About MR we will speak later in that last in the unit of this lesson. Okay, this is TR. Okay, so see MR. As long as elasticity is more than 1, you can see MR is positive. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now just go to the formula also. What was the formula? MR is equal to AR into E minus 1 by E, right? Now AR will be some positive value because AR is price. It will be some positive value. But you just put MR is equal to AR into E minus 1 by E. E minus 1 will come in some positive value only when E is greater than 1, right?
Yes.
So any value of E more than 1, your MR will be positive. Understood? But when E will be exactly 1, go there.
0.
0. So MR is 0. Look, this dotted line is MR. Now MR is a downward sloping curve. This I will teach in another chapter. Because here for different actually MR has a different shape for different types of market. So taking here is nonsense. Okay, so here, but in majority of the case, in perfect competition, MR is a horizontal line, but in all other, like in monopoly, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, we get downward sloping. So that is why in general, we take downward sloping. And in perfect competition, you also know, maybe you might be knowing that the firms are price taker. So price is fixed. You get a horizontal curve, right? Price is fixed one. So then this formula has no relevance also. Because MR is equal to AR into E minus 1 by now AR is a constant value. So you will get an MR constant value, right? It won't change. Elasticity is infinite. So lots of things are there. So well, in majority of the cases, MR is a negatively sloped curve. Like any marginal, remember, marginal product you leave, but marginal utility you saw, diminishing marginal utility was going down. Okay, so see. So as long as elasticity is more than 1, you get positive marginal revenue. And see, as long as marginal revenue is positive, TR will increase because TR is nothing but summation of MR. Like how TU, if it's not written, you can please write it down. Total revenue. Then you just write this relationship. TR is summation of MR. Maybe they've not written this as far as I remember. But the relationship is similar. Have you written or should I write it down? But still. Why is it not happening today?
Maybe I think so down they escaped another time.
Where?
Okay, the table itself is there.
Maybe, yeah. This pen is not working. Yeah, there's something wrong. Thank you for telling this to me. So TR is summation of MR. Like any TU was summation of MU, right? So like that. So yes. So coming back to this. Okay, so from graph also you can remember many things. See, as this graph is something which you know. That one, the previous one. But only new thing that you are seeing is this MR here. Right? So as long as E is positive, because MR is equal to AR into E minus 1 by. So E minus 1 will come positive only when E is greater than 1. So as long as elasticity is greater than 1, here MR is positive. Elasticity exactly equal to 1 means in the midpoint. Okay, MR will come 0. Put in the formula E minus 1, 1 minus 1, 0. Then when elasticity will be less than 1, so less than 1 means that E minus 1 will come in negative. Like suppose it is 0.75. So 0.75 minus 1 means minus 0.25. So your MR will come in negative. Now, as long as you know TR is the summation of MR. So as long as the MR is positive, TR will increase. MR 0, TR max. Very similar to MU 0, TU max. MP 0, TP max. Marginal and total.
Yes.
But then that does not apply in cost also. Let me remind you. It will not apply. Okay, so only on these three. So see, MP 0, MR 0, TP max. Then MR coming to negative, what will happen? The TR will start falling because TR is summation of M. That's it. So this applies to anything other than perfect competition. This maybe you will understand later when we complete perfect competition, because in perfect competition the MR is a horizontal line. So that's all they've written. Behavioral principles will also be taken. So actually this part is majority. Actually, I should have gone reverse, but still we had time and just some few formulas are there like TR is summation of MR and delta MR and all. So just we as a formality, and yes, from this part majority what they ask is the previous one that we studied, like on the bifurcation of, you can say, like types of markets and all those. From there asking, and this in this small maybe formulas, like I told you, they didn't choose the correct formula. TR formula, average revenue is also known as price, and then that type of small things. But here, whatever I'm leaving, remind me, I'll come back after last unit. Last unit 11 means chapter 4. After I complete the third unit, I'll come back here. If I forget, just remind me. So we can leave the class now because next unit means we'll start in a new class. Okay? Okay, online people, bye-bye, both of you. Read all this, it's simple theory.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.